What is going on, guys? Happy Thanksgiving Eve. It's your boy TB here from SMB. Um, Gotta drop a quick vid before the holiday. Just gonna talk about what has gone down in the market these past couple trading sessions. It's actually halfway through the session here on Wednesday, and we did have a big move in the market today. It's kind of reversing now, but I figured I'm not gonna wait and see what happens for the rest of the day. I got a good idea of what's gonna happen the rest of the day. I would bet my life on it that we're gonna close above 4,000 on SPX, but not above this high of 40.30. And if we do, I think it's gonna be very trappy. But I'm just gonna talk about what's been going down, what I'm looking at for Black Friday. Black Friday is a half trading session, is not a full trading session. I believe it closes at 1 p.m. Eastern. So it's literally only like 4 hours of trading, as opposed to, you know. But just gotta talk about exactly where the S&P is at, where the Nasdaq's at, where I'm seeing various stocks falling, and what I have in mind, what kind of patterns I'm seeing right now for Black Friday and the following week. So right now we have our S&P 500 chart I'm looking at right here. This is a 5 minute. I'll go to the 1 hour. We've gotten some nice green price action over these past couple days. Yesterday was just one of those slow melt up days. We opened on a gap up and just didn't look back, and we just trickled up. We broke above that 39.80 resistance, and now we are forming a wicked, and I mean a wicked double top right here. This is last week's high up here at 40.30, and we have ran straight up to 40.30 and bounced off that wall. So now we know sell orders are sitting up there waiting. As you can see, big selling stepped in right there. So we have got a ugly double top right there. We have our on the daily chart, we have our 200-day moving average sitting right above us at 40.58. And now we are in this little green box, which has been the rejection zone for the S&P for this entire year. This has been where we have rejected out of this zone. Every time we get up here, we get a hard rejection and we get ripped out of it. And that's exactly where we are. And you can see on the daily, we have wicked into that and we are rejecting out of that rejection zone. So that is giving me a little bit of a rug pull feeling for Friday, that we're going to see some wicked downside on Friday, when everyone least expects it, when half the people aren't even looking at the stock market. This has happened in the past. I believe last Black Friday we got let me see here. I think we got a pretty ugly rug pull on last Black Friday. Yeah, we did. We got a negative 2.27% day the last Black Friday, and it was pretty decent volume. I mean, this is good volume, and this was like a half trading session. So it's not unprecedented that Black Friday can be a bit of a shit show, and it is looking as if it is going to do that again. I would not be surprised one bit if it is going to do that again, especially over Thanksgiving. We get some bad news. Anything can happen, or the market just go down because it feels like it, because we are at resistance, and that is really what I'm looking at. I'm seeing I call me crazy. It could be the greenest day ever. When I get bearish, usually it's the opposite. But just looking at the chart is telling me that it's time for a bit more downside. I don't think it means like, hey, we're going straight down to 3,500. I just think it's going to be risky to hold anything to the long side over Thanksgiving, because we are just at that point where the S&P traditionally has been rejecting out of, and I need to see confirmation. I want to see a break above that 200-day moving average, because that's exactly where we rejected off of on during the late summer rally. That's right where that yellow line right there. You see that, and we're running up to it. We're running up to that yellow line. But another thing to keep in mind is we do have a gap to fill. So that's right where the S&P is bouncing off of, right off of this gap. You see that gap right there? You see that beautiful little gap? All the way up to about 40.80 is where that gap fills. So this is a very sticky, hairy situation we're in, because we have a big gap to the upside. We got our 200-day moving average. We're at the rejection zone, and we're doing all of this, mind you. All of this is coming on weak ass volume, low volume. This is what I was telling you guys. This is what I've been saying. I said these trading sessions. I will admit I was wrong in the fact that I said, hey, there might not be any kind of price action. We might not do anything. We could just go 0.5% up, 0.5% down. Yesterday was a solid green day. But keep in mind, I was right about the volume. The volume has been horrendous. I mean, very, very low volume. You see this low volume back in August? What happened next? We dumped. Big, low, or not big, low, low volume green is very, 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 very concerning to me, because it tells you that it's just the sellers just aren't there for the time being, but the buyers are in control until the selling volume steps up, and then it could instantly swing the pendulum back the other way, and then we see the volume ramp up to the downside. And since there was low volume to the upside, high volume downside means we go down fast. And that's just something you got to keep in mind when you get these daily volume candles that are just like so low. I mean, Christ, it's so weak. And yeah, so it's we're just at that spot where I'm a little worried about taking anything to the upside. And I'm personally all in cash. But the story of the day is Tesla is finally seeing a big bounce off of this support, and now Tesla is retesting previous support, which was 180, 181, and it is bouncing off of that. It has rejected off of that, but Tesla is seeing very strong volume to the upside. So we're finally getting a little bit of short sellers taking some profit, I would imagine, and buyers buying the dip. So that's really the story of why the market's green today, because Tesla's up like 6%. Otherwise, Amazon's is up like 0.5%. Apple's barely even green. So we're seeing weakness in Apple too. Keep that in mind. When you're seeing the market, when you're seeing the S&P at the highs that it has been in this rally. I mean, this is the highest it's been since halfway through September. And then you look over at Apple, and Apple is lower than it was just in October. So you're seeing that divergence of the S&P is like at its highest and Apple is still just struggling. So that's always something to worry about, because Apple starts going down, and it's too much. The market can't handle when Apple goes down. It's too large. It takes too much of a share, especially in the Nasdaq. It's like 12% of the Nasdaq or something, or no, like 6. No, it might be 6% of the S&P. But anyways, I'm saying it's the biggest market cap. So if it struggles going down, the rest of the market can't go up, and that's what I'm looking at right now. Apple is just having a tough time. It is choppy as all hell. And it's interesting when Apple does that. It's a little worrying. Otherwise, Google is looking pretty solid. Google just still chopping around up here. Look at that, rejected off of $100.50, and now we are just making a little bull flag. We're chopping around. What I'm really looking at is the VIX, though. The VIX is at a very, very key point right here. So the VIX has been just crashing, and look at this. Look at all these red days in a row on the VIX, just down, 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 down. It has taken the elevator down, and now we are at a pivotal. You see this red trend line right here? Are you serious right now? Do you see that? Look at this shit right here. This is so easy. This is just so easy. I mean, it's drawing lines. It's like third grade here. So we have our support trend line right here, and look at that. VIX is bouncing right off of that, and it's right off of $20.50. Also, you can draw a nice little demand zone right here. If I could figure out how to use. You see this? You see this right here? Buyers show up on the VIX. They always show up on the VIX at this level. Look at that. You see the buyers? They step up and it bounces out of there. So we could see a pull down to 20 potentially on Friday. If we do get a green day on Friday, I would imagine that would take the VIX down to 20. And then $20 on the VIX is always like big warning sign. Take your profits on your longs and look to the downside, because VIX bounces out of this. It always bounces out of this. It has this entire year, and it is bouncing right now. We are in a wicked, and I mean a wicked, falling wedge on the VIX right now. And this is exactly what happened to the VIX the last time we were at this point. We got our rejection out of this zone up here, and then we got a ugly falling wedge, and look what happened. When it broke out of that, look at that. That was the 22nd of August. Gee, I wonder what S&P did on the 22nd of August when it broke out of that wedge. Wait, was that the right day? Was that the right day? Yeah, yeah. And look at that. When it broke out of that, we got that ugly gap down on the S&P. Big 2% gap down. And then what happened after that? We get some ugly green, some very low green volume to the upside, and then bam, we get that 3.5% day to the downside. So that's what I'm seeing right now. I'm seeing the VIX at a crucial pivot point where it tends to bounce and then it tends to make a falling wedge, and it's just been doing this all year. It makes this falling wedge, and you could see the uptrend that the VIX is in. You could see the higher highs and then the higher lows. I mean, we've just been getting higher lows constantly. We got a higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, and that's just what the VIX has been doing. And the VIX can tell you where the market's going to go. And it's so obvious right now that it's just at a point where it's bound to bounce. And it could bounce and then just run up to this resistance line of this falling wedge at 23. And then these wedges also have a tend to extend themselves or widen themselves out. So that's also very possible. But it's just this is just what the VIX has been doing all year, and you cannot ignore it because it can tell you exactly what's going to happen. If you saw the VIX break out of this rising or this falling wedge, and you bought a put on the S&P, she printed money, baby, because like I just showed you, what the S&P do as soon as it on the 22nd of August, as soon as VIX broke out of that falling wedge, you buy a short, you set your stop loss at the previous high. Yeah, wow, that's a lot of money you just made right there. So that's what I'm seeing right now. And I'm also a little bit bearish right now because of this hard rejection that we got off of this 403, 402.50 level on SPY. I mean, this was some big selling that we got right there. So I'm a little worried. I'm just a little bit worried, especially because it's weird when you get these kind of green days in 2022 where you get these like super low volume, just these. If you look at yesterday's trading session, just these days where it's like the market just opens, it gets a little pullback, and then the rest of the day it's just like, nice, green, just going straight up all day, just no sellers anywhere. Just green candle after green candle, boom, 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 and then we get all of a sudden we get the big red candles out of nowhere after we just had 2 days of no selling. Someone just knocked on my door. I don't think so. So anyways, that's just what I'm seeing for Friday. Be prepared. I'm not a financial advisor, but I would probably not hold any calls over Thanksgiving. I feel like if I have to tell you that, you deserve to lose money on calls. I feel like this is obvious to say don't hold calls over Thanksgiving. I think it's just way too risky to hold anything to the upside when the S&P is in this rejection zone. I've just been talking about this. I cannot hammer this big green box. You see that? What has happened every time the S&P gets up there? It is so risky to take longs. There's way too much. So I'll show you. I'll show you right now. This is so easy. So this is your upside. This is your upside on the S&P. This is the downside. So which box is bigger? See, it's simple. Risk and reward. It could not be easier. The reward to the upside is maybe S&P gets up to 40.20 before we see more downside. But then the downside is all this, and that's just what has been happening. It's just the trend of the year. It's been lower highs followed by lower lows. So we put in a lower high over here. We're probably going to see another lower low at some point. And then I have to go back to how this is a news-driven market, and we are not going to get more inflation news, and we're not going to get the FOMC until next month, until early December. So we could very well just keep going up from here. But I'm just talking about Black Friday, yeah, that's really what I'm yammering on about. AMD, look at AMD. We're right off that resistance line once again. Why does it move? Oh, it's on my daily. Right off that red. Look at this. I'll make this one nice and big so everyone can see it. All the people in the back. Look at that resistance line. We wicked up and now we're rejecting it again. So AMD is looking like a solid, maybe going short on AMD. I don't know. And look at the volume, people. The volume tells you so much. Look at this volume on AMD. There's nothing. No one's home. Look at this weak volume. Look at that. Look at that. Look how small those are. You can barely even see them. I gotta zoom in. Look at that volume. Just nothing. There's nothing behind this. This could get yanked down in one day because of this super mega weak volume. Like, we haven't seen volume this week on AMD all year, baby. I'm talking weak volume. And we're right at resistance, boys. I'm just saying, man. You gotta look around. I am bullish on the market. I think we rally through the winter, but I'm saying short term, if you're an options trader, you are gonna get maybe destroyed if you hold long calls right now. And that's really what I'm trying to hammer into everyone's head right now. Yeah, that's That's basically all I really had to talk about. I was expecting a red day today. I was hoping for a red day because I'm like, God, if we go green like basically every day into Thanksgiving, it is just setting up for the perfect Black Friday rug pull. So I was really hoping we were going to see some red today, but right now, it just does not feel good. When you look at SPX and it's just put in this wicked double top. If you look at the hourly, it's really much better. See this nasty double top right here that we have. And we're just getting overextended. We bounced straight from 3,900 straight up to 4020 basically. So goddamn guys, just be careful. That's all I'm trying to say. Just be careful. I think this rally is very legit though. If we do get a crazy green day on Friday, I just do not see it happening. I really do not. Uh, and yeah, that's just what the chart's telling me. Chart don't lie, baby. Ignore the noise. Just look at the chart, and I'm doing that. So if you look at the system, the sell system, buy system, with the 50 simple moving average on the 30-minute chart, it is resting right at 39.70. So this rally will only continue to go up as long as this continues to go up. So we have to potentially see a pullback so this can go up. Otherwise, we get too far away from this blue line, and then you're getting in the hairy, and we're really far away from it right now. So we're getting a little hairy, guys. Just got to put it out there, you know. So that's all I got for you folks. Just short little video. Have a good Thanksgiving. If you enjoyed the video, I appreciate a like and not a follow, a subscription to the page. Drop any comments. I appreciate comments. It shows me that real people are actually watching. Uh, but yeah, I will probably no. I'll definitely upload a video on Friday, especially if we do get the rug pull. I'm gonna come out and be like, "See, I told you guys. Look, I told you." No, I'll drop a video on Friday. But everyone enjoy your holidays. Be thankful that you haven't lost all your money in this terrible, horrendous market that we've had this year. And yeah, I'll see you guys later.